MOISE WABANGUE hoped digging for gold would pay for his education. He worked at a mine in the bush here in the Central African Republic. He'd bought a new motorbike to get there. On his way home, he says militia held him up, stole it, and then told him to lie face down on the ground. He refused.
I told them, if you want to kill me, do it to my face. As we were talking, he shot me in one leg. I started screaming. He saw I could still walk, so he shot the other. Then I couldn't walk anymore.
The bones in Moi's leg are shattered, with it his plan to study. It was a passerby who brought Moise to this hospital in the capital, Bangui. It's run by the charity Doctors Without Borders. The manager says many others aren't so lucky. The armed groups who want to overthrow the government control most of the country.
War wounded is maybe some hundreds or even 1,000 people. We do not have any right figures. And during this kind of peak of violence, where everybody is more in the bush and are not able to stay in the villages, I think that all the kind of care is limited.
The violence escalated before, during and after elections held last month. Political opposition say they were rigged. UN peacekeepers, Russian mercenaries and Rwandan troops support the government. Bangui and a bit of territory around it is one of the few parts of the country that's firmly under the control of the foreign forces that support the government. The city sits on the banks of the river Ubangi, and more than a tenth of Central Africans have fled the violence to neighbouring countries, most of them across the river to the Democratic Republic of Congo on the other side. Inside the country, more than half of its 5 million people are in urgent need of humanitarian assistance, and hundreds of thousands have fled their homes. SANDRINE NATALIE is one of them. She told us nothing is more terrifying than waking up to find yourself in the middle of a battle when you're 7 months pregnant. Now she's staying here at a relative's house.
At 5 in the morning, I was woken up by the sound of heavy weapons. They were shooting rockets. I hid in my room, traumatized. I didn't know what to do. When the situation got calmer, I took my children and walked for 6 hours to get to a hospital.
The current crisis here began 8 years ago, when armed groups overthrew the government of the time. That's when these people fled their homes. They've been living under plastic sheeting ever since. The conflict has continued for as long, and so has its devastating effect on people's lives. Malcolm Webb, Al Jazeera, Bangui, Central African Republic.